Hi everyone. Just coming on over the last few weeks. Now this isn't about anything in particular. It is just a generalised subject about bullying, both via email, videos, private messages, and comments. The reason this subject is really close to my heart is when my sister was 14, I'll start at the beginning. My uncle Danny passed away in 1996. My mum, my dad attended his requiem mass. I'm sure that's what they call it when you go into the church the night before. Now I'm filming. What's up?
Hi, on this phone.
What was I saying? Very strong off track. Yeah, sorry. So my mum, my dad, it was my dad's brother, and myself, who I was 18 then, went to the requiem mass. We came out the church and there was a pub next door. So my mum, my dad, myself, a couple of aunts and uncles all went into the pub for a drink after it. Our intention was have a drink, phone a taxi and go home, because my sister and my brother were at home. My sister would have been 14 then and my brother was 10. So we had our drink and my dad was in conversation with his siblings, and mum mentioned about phoning a taxi, and my dad just said one more, darling, we can't explain it, but at that present moment in time I said to mum, don't feel good, I want to go up the road. I'm very solemn at funerals, but I never show emotion. I like my own space, so sitting in a crowd after being in the church, it didn't feel comfortable to me. So we had our drink. Dad obviously wanted to sit on, but me and mum both wanted to get up the road, so he agreed. So we phoned a taxi and went home, and the minute we walked in the door, my brother was going mental, screaming, Mum, 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 what's wrong? My sister was lying on the couch with her eyes rolling at the back of her head, and my brother, who was then 10 years old, said, I can't wake her up, Mum, I've been trying, she's really funny. I didn't know what to do. So mum came in, checked her over, she was very out of it. My dad at that point obviously went to the bathroom and found an empty paracetamol bottle at the side of the cistern. Screamed through to my mum, she's took tablets, and they phoned an ambulance. Now, bearing in mind my dad was in the midst of burying his brother, sat in the back of an ambulance with potentially the chance of losing his daughter. We later, after they pumped her stomach and brought her round, spoke to her. My sister had been verbally and mentally bullied at school for weeks. The boy who had been doing it was also the same age as her, 14. Now, my sister was at that point a second brown and white belt in karate. She wasn't a tiny wee timid thing. She was a good build of a girl and could more than handle herself in a physical altercation. Mentally, she couldn't cope with it. She didn't know how to. The hospital obviously kept her in for a psychiatric assessment the next day, but my dad and my mum obviously had to go to the funeral the next day for my uncle. So we all attended the funeral, and my dad was shattered. I think the reality of what had just happened was hitting him. He realised as he was holding one of the cords, he realised that if things hadn't turned round or we hadn't been home in time, this could potentially be my daughter I'm putting into the ground, not just my brother. They went to the school the next day on the funeral. After the funeral, my mum and dad went up to the school and spoke to their teachers, and the boy that had been doing it was dragged over the coals. We were later made to believe that the boy's mother was actually being treated for terminal cancer. That doesn't give him the right or excuse his actions for hurting someone else. Rightly or wrongly, the way we were brought up, as soon as someone tried to hurt our family, we automatically grabbed round each other. And the school that we went to, there was a lot of us family in the school. In fact, in my year alone, I had my first cousin in the same class as me, and I had a second cousin in the next class. And this was just in every year there was 2 or 3 of us. So we were surrounded by each other. My sister and one of my other cousins, they were actually born on the same day. They're a few hours apart. Craig was very, very... He was a ruffian. He was a bit of a tinker when he was younger. Got up to no good. The likes. Was the leader of his gang type of thing. And we were in the club after the funeral had been over with, and my mum had been up at the school with dad. They came back to the club after the school to let us know what had happened. And they explained about what had happened. And my uncle, sitting next to us, said to Craig, "You get that dealt with." And my dad, no, it's been dealt with, the school are dealing with it. And my Uncle Tam, nah, no having this. Craig, you get that dealt with. It wasn't an excuse, and it shouldn't have happened. But his way of dealing with that. He went into the school at a later point that day and punched the boy and bust his nose and told him to stay back from our family from now on. I don't agree with what Craig done that day, but at the same time, I can understand why he felt the physical need to hit out at someone. Since that day, any type of bullying, I automatically want to stop it there and then. If another person is making you feel bad for no reason, it's bullying. It's not acceptable. Don't ever keep quiet about a bully. My sister kept quiet for 6 months. She had been getting verbally abused by this boy. Luckily my sister's, there was no lasting damage, it was fine. But I'm still filming. Okay. Luckily my sister was physically okay. There was no internal damage. But for many of you who know me, my sister is now diagnosed with mental health issues, and her psychiatric team, including her CPN, her psychiatrist, her psychologist, they have all targeted that event being why she is the way she is today. I will not tolerate anyone making my friends or my family feel bad. Bullying is being a coward, because you do it when you know the person isn't strong enough to answer you back or publicly say to you, no. So I'm saying this today. If you are videoing a response to this type of video on bullying, thinking that this is targeted to someone, it's not. Yes, there have been issues in the last week or so. Yes, there was an issue a few weeks back. It's nothing to do with those incidents. This is just a general video, not targeted at anyone. I just want people to understand bullying is more than just hurting someone physically. It is mentally, and as much as it annoys me to see it, typing abusive or derogatory messages is also bullying. Don't do it. If you're feeling bad, or someone has upset you or hurt you, step back. My personal advice, take 24 hours to think it over before you start hammering the keys to tell them what you think of them. Because anger's not a good thing to respond with. If you are being sent abusive messages, report them to YouTube. block, delete, whatever you need to do. Ignore the person. They're small, narrow-minded, and they obviously have no other friends in their life that make them feel good about themselves, that they need to pull other people down to where they feel comfortable. I'm not asking you to be abusive back, because I don't agree that that works. What I would say to you is, just try your best to nip it in the bud. Don't allow yourself to be the victim. If you don't understand how to cope with it, feel free to message me. I can swear on my son's life, anything that is said to me will be in 100% confidence. I would not break that. And I will give you my honest opinion on how to best deal with it. As I said, I just felt this story had to be told. The boy who was bullying my sister never once physically touched her, because if he had, I believe he would have been in hospital before her. But mentally calling her names, sniggering at her as he walked by, when he was with his cool friends and Laura would walk by on her own, they'd be like, ha ha ha, and trying to make her feel bad. She just couldn't cope with it. As I said, since then, it's like a button in my brain. The minute I hear bullying, I'm like beacon, and I need to get something done about it. I can't cope with just sitting back and saying, it's alright, it'll pass. Because it doesn't always. If you internalise it and let it build up inside you, it totally takes you over. You need to release it and let it go. And if you have no one else to turn to, private message me or email me. I will never turn you away. Okay? And as I said, it is a story close to my heart. I would hate for anyone to feel the way I knew my sister felt. It's just not nice at all. Alright? Thanks for watching and listening, and I hope that someone out there, even if only one person, can get something through this video. It's been worth it. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.